Good morning, Menifee, on this chilly Friday morning. This is Doug with Menifee 24/7, welcoming you back to another episode of Good Morning Menifee. We're getting ready for some rain over the next few days, and it was a little chilly when we woke up this morning, if you noticed. So get ready, it's winter time, and can you believe we're already almost halfway through January? What do we have coming up this week? I want to let you know about something that's happening this Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. at City Hall. The public is invited to attend and provide input at a town hall that's taking place regarding the recruitment of a police chief. The initial steps include immediate recruitment and hiring of a police chief, development of a budget for Menifee Police Department to be approved by City Council, policies, procedures, etc. As we reported earlier, the Menifee City Council voted to create the city's own police department. They've hired former Hemet Police Chief Dave Brown as the interim director of public safety, and it's his job to coordinate the search for a police chief to get this whole process started. So if you want to have some input, if you want to hear what's being discussed, put in your 2 cents. Come on out Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. at City Hall. You can talk about that. As you know, we are currently contracted with the Riverside Sheriff's Department. The theory behind this is that the city can put more boots on the ground at no or less expense. That's the theory going in, and they've got some numbers to prove it, so we will continue to follow that story. Meanwhile, the city recently released its public safety report for January. Just for your information, the latest figures are for the month of November, and they've compared the last 3 months leading up to that for Part 1 crimes, the most serious crimes. And as you can see, there were 2 areas where there was a significant increase from November over October. We had 8 aggravated assaults in the city. That was 5 more than the month before. And burglaries went up by 12, up to 28. This is something that we'll try to keep you apprised of as we go along, so you'll know how our law enforcement is doing. Not only the current law enforcement in fighting crime in the city, but the efforts to create a new Menifee Police Department. Now we've got some sports news for you this morning. I told you the other day that we're going to try to keep tabs more on what's going on with our youth sports programs. We got some news about the Paloma Valley High School boys and girls wrestling teams. Wednesday night they had big matches against Canyon Springs and won both of them to clinch at least a share of the Ivy League title. The boys won by a score of 38-34, and you can see there listed the wrestlers who won their matches. So that's quite an accomplishment. And look here at the picture of the girls wrestling team and how that has grown in participation. Girls wrestling is just taking off in popularity and participation in the CIF ranks. The girls won 66-18, and you can see here the names of the girls that were involved in that. So we congratulate both teams in that victory and invite again all of you who are involved in coaching, participating, scorekeeping for our local teams to send us a message on Facebook or email us info@menifee247.com about how your team is doing, and you may be reported on here next.
Here they go. Look at those cars travel. It's going to be close. Here's the finish. What a race.
Let's see it. Half track, it's Canyon. Let's see if what we do here. Very close, very close, very close.
Yes, it's still an all-American sport. Soapbox Derby, down through the years, has survived as a pastime for kids and people of all ages, and it lives in Menifee. As we reported earlier this week, the Soapbox Derby has been rescheduled. It will take place March 23rd on Menifee Road, down the hill leading towards Holland Road. It's a fun event and one that we've heartily supported, and we thank Valleywide Recreation in the city of Menifee for coming up with a date to reschedule that. Now, some teams have already built their racers and were prepared for the race in October that was rained out. But guess what? Now that there's over 2 months left, there's time for the rest of you to get your racers built and ready to go. Now, there are specifications. You'd have to pass an inspection. But if you call Valleywide at 951-672-6744 and tell them you want to know about the Soapbox Derby in Menifee, they will tell you what you need to do. In the past, they have held clinics to help show you how to put yours together, but it's a great bonding experience for kids and family members, and we really look forward to it. So we urge you to sign up, get your racer built, and let's have the biggest crowd out there of competitors and spectators that we've ever had before. Remember this? The reopening of Audie Murphy Skatepark in March 2017 after it had been shut down for concerns over inappropriate behavior and some vandalism and breaking of the rules. It was reopened, then what happened? Closed again, then reopened with a new system of registration. And what does it look like now most days? Yep, unfortunately, it's virtually empty. Apparently, not too many people have taken up the city on their offer to register for a $10 annual fee if you're a Menifee resident to be able to use that park under the supervision of employees that are there throughout the hours that it's open. And there is a $100 fee now charged for non-residents. The thinking behind that was maybe that would keep away some of those young adults, shall we say, that were coming from outlying areas and causing some of the problems with drinking and smoking and inappropriate behavior. Well, so now what happens? We're getting complaints all over the place that hardly anybody's using the skate park. We can see both sides of it. We can see the city needing to regulate it and to recoup a little bit of the expense. We can see the side of the skaters and their parents saying we shouldn't have to pay for use of that. But this is where we're at right now. To me, $10 a year isn't a whole lot to be able to use that park. We hate to see it wasted. We'd like to hear from you about your reasons, skaters and parents, why you're not using it anymore. Is it some form of protest? Is it just the winter months are too cold? Obviously, the $100 non-resident fee is working because it's keeping out those that were coming from outlying areas that don't want to pay it. We want to know what your thoughts are. So send us a message, send us an email, and let us know what you're thinking about the Audie Murphy Skate Park. If you have any suggestions for the city, how we can make things better, and why your kids aren't returning. Well, that's it for today. We may have a wet weekend coming up. Stay dry, stay warm, and we will see you on Monday with another episode of Good Morning Menifee.